Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Psalm 88 and verse 1, we have three things that are essential for prayer, and three things that the psalmist brings out that is very instructive when it comes to prayer. And the first thing that he brings out is that of trust. He says, "O Yahweh, the God of my salvation." He trusted that it was Yahweh who could bring about his salvation, and only Yahweh who could bring about his salvation. He couldn't trust in other people. He couldn't trust in his own ingenuity, his own ability, but he had to ultimately trust in God. To trust in Yahweh. God was his salvation. And that's the foundation of all prayer. All prayer must be based on this foundation of trust and ultimate dependent on God. And the second thing was his earnestness in prayer. He says, "I cried out by day and throughout the night before you." He cried out. In other words, his prayer wasn't just going through the motions, wasn't just some superficial prayer that he was giving, but a prayer of earnestness, crying out to the Lord. And our prayer should be that way. Oftentimes we can sink into just this lackadaisical, kind of just lethargic type of prayers in which we're praying to the Lord because we think that we should be praying to the Lord, but there's really no heart behind it. Here the psalmist is crying out to God, and that's how our prayer should be, a prayer that comes from the depths of our being. An earnest prayer is very important. And then he goes on and shows that our prayer should be a prayer of perseverance, a prayer that is given over a long period of time. He says, "By day and throughout the night before you." He persevered in prayer. By day and throughout the night. All the time he is praying this prayer and not giving up, not thinking, well, because the Lord didn't answer me the first time I prayed, then I'll just give up. But coming to the Lord time and time again, constantly coming to God with this earnest spirit, with this trustful spirit, seeking the Lord's help in his situation. And good prayer is going to have this as well. It's not that we just go to the Lord one time, trusting in him, and then with earnestness, and then if it's not answered, then we just give up. But to continually go to the Lord, to persevere in prayer, to continually offer up our requests before the Lord. That's a very important aspect of prayer. And so if we want to offer up prayers that have a great impact, we must have these three things going for us. We first must be praying with trust to the Lord. Otherwise, why would we be praying at all? And then we need to be earnest in our prayers, and then we need to be persistent in our prayers. And if we can have these three things present in our prayers, I think it'll make a great impact, and of course make a great impression on the Lord, and would all the more increase his desire to come to our aid and to help us in our time of need. So as we go to the Lord in prayer today, let's see to it that we are doing it with an attitude of trust, with an earnest heart, and then also with perseverance. And in doing so, we can bring our requests before the Lord, knowing that he will hear us and that he will do what is best in the situation and will assist us in those things that we need in this life. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do a reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.